Hey, Manham. Yeah, your video kicked some thoughts in my head, and this is gonna be another kind of a stream of consciousness kind of video, early morning kind of video. So yeah, what you said was very interesting there. You kind of asked the question like, if we can't even get the smart people to agree with us, right? What hope do we have getting the dumb people to agree with us? And if we can't get the dumb people to agree with us, what hope do we have of actually, changing things or making the world a better place, or even surviving? I guess. I thought this was a very interesting question. And you give us your exhibit A for this, a fellow by the name of Veritas 48, right? And so, yeah, hi Noah. I hate talking about you as if you're not in the room here, but anyway, that's the example that you gave, and he is a very interesting case, right? Because it's like he is a sharp guy. We use the same mental tools to analyze the world and all this kind of stuff, right? We both try to be logical but we reach radically different conclusions about almost everything, right? But here's a score in Minham. It's like you know, let me just show you the cover of this book here. Actually, this is a book I picked up the other day. It's called Pluralism Against the Demand for Consensus. It's by a fellow by the name of Nicholas Rescher. He's a I just discovered this guy a few months back. It's kind of an interesting book. But anyway, his point is, we're not going to agree. Period. Right? People are not going to, somebody who's very religious is not going to say that they are not religious. Uh, I'm not going to turn into a conservative Christian. We're not going to agree. Everybody is going to have different things. I mean, you talk about this subjective, objective kind of stuff, right? Yeah, we're not going to agree. People are not going to agree about whether truth is subjective or objective, all this kind of stuff. But here's the score, right? We don't have to agree on things. What we do have to do is we have to actually uh, agree in action, right? We have to actually do things together, right? I mean, it's like people will say all kinds of things about what they think truth is like, but in the morning we all get up and we all act the same way. We all act in an intersubjective fashion, as if we were a whole bunch of subjects who are interacting with each other in the midst of a shared world. I mean, that's just how we act. So basically, it's like it doesn't matter the talk that you're talking, right? What matters is the walk that you're walking. And if you look at how we walk our walks, you'll find that there's a lot more, uh, you know, pragmatic consensus, I guess, or this sort of thing than what there is verbal consensus, right? So I'll use I'll use myself as an example on another thing, right? I mean, it's like you brought up the example of Jesus prohibiting divorce, yeah, and you're right. Okay, in Matthew 19, Jesus absolutely prohibits divorce. It is not allowed. Okay, so for Jesus himself, right? God prohibits divorce. It shall not happen, right? And I believe this. Okay, I used to be a Christian. I used to think I was a follower of Jesus Christ, right? I thought this was, I thought that there was never any excuse for divorce under any circumstances. And when I got married, I intended to stay married forever, right? But then, of course, I did get married, and my first marriage fell apart. I tried my hardest. I tried harder than anything I've ever tried before to keep it together, but in the end, it just fell apart. And at that point, I had to sit down and I had to reevaluate. And I came to the conclusion, I thought I was a follower of Jesus Christ. I thought I was, you know, doing what I say. But if you looked at what I was talking, it sounded like I was a Christian, right? But if you looked at my life, right, my life was the same as anybody else's life, and I think that's quite generally true. I didn't live my life any differently than anybody else. The most secular person in the world, and I think that's generally true. Okay, if you don't look at what people are talking about, if you look at what people are actually doing, you'll find a lot more uniformity. To the point of being, it's almost we're almost indistinguishable from each. I think a person from Mars would have to study us for decades before they would even be able to distinguish us. It's like us looking at an ant colony, right? We can't distinguish one ant from another. And we're a lot more of the same people are generally a lot more the same than what we realize. I mean, we're just too close to the situation to actually realize that. So I guess, because I'm more pessimistic than you are, I guess, of discerning what people actually believe and what people actually will do from what they say. I'm more pessimistic about that than you are. I guess that makes me more optimistic about actually being able to get something done with all these, smart and dumb people who seem to uh, perversely not agree with us, right? Anyway, a very interesting video. Kick loose some thoughts. So thanks a lot. Bye.